Hey everyone, I finished watching the next Time Force episode, Circuit Unsure. I like this one. This is a really good episode. Not my favorite episode or anything, but it's a really good one, and it's a nice one for Time Force to go out on before the finale episodes. We have, I think, like 4 or 5 episodes left, but they're all interconnected. Like, there's just a string of episodes all interconnected leading up to the final finale episode. So the Rangers are playing with Circuit at the beginning, and they ask him if he can tell them something about the future. And so he's like, okay, next Thursday morning. And then suddenly he glitches up, and they don't know what's happening. And uh, let's see, the Rangers don't know. He doesn't know what happened. And let's see, then we cut, or yeah, theme song plays, and then we see Rancic. He's looking around through all the coolers in the base. He's almost out of mutants to send. So then, let's see, he finally finds one, and then he tells Nadira, oh yeah, Nadira shows up, and she's like, Daddy, when can we leave? The present's so boring, or whatever. And he's like, we're not leaving until I found Frax. So then he revives the monster, and then we cut back to the Rangers, and Circuit's going around, and he's bored. He wants to help out some of the Rangers. He sees some of them working on something. Hey, can I help? No, Circuit, these have to be precise. Oh, I can do that. And they don't feel safe having him do something because he glitched up earlier. They're afraid something might be wrong with him. And so Circuit's kind of bummed out by this, and he's like, okay. So then he goes to Trip. Trip's his best friend, so yeah, he'll definitely help him. Trip, can I help you with something? Oh, sorry, Circuit. And then, like, yeah, Trip's afraid that Circuit might be malfunctioning as well, and he turns him away, and Circuit gets really depressed and flies away. And the Rangers all talk to each other later, and they're like, hey, where'd Circuit go? And they're like, oh, he asked to help, and we said no. And Trip's like, oh no, I did the same thing. He must feel terrible. And I do like that the Rangers, like, they realize what they did immediately. I feel like if this was a newer episode, this would be the entire episode's plot, and they would drag it out forever. Circuit would go to, like, one of the Rangers and ask to help them, they'd say no. He'd go to another one, they'd say no, and they would drag it out even longer, and then, like, they would focus on Circuit flying away. They would have, like, a whole scene with him talking to himself for a while before finally getting back to the Rangers, and the Rangers wouldn't realize that Circuit's gone immediately. I don't really like how the current seasons are paced or written. Anyway, back to the actual plot. Let's see. Oh yeah, Rancic's mutant has gone into this building and set a bomb through the computer in the building. Okay. I don't know how that works. Anyway, Trip goes out, he finds Circuit, and, let's see. Trying to find my notes here. Oh yeah. I left this part out of my notes. Trip finds Circuit, and Trip tells Circuit that he's sorry about earlier, and they're gonna figure out what's wrong with him. So then they take Circuit, and then he happens to see the monster attacking the building. He goes into the building with Circuit, then the other Rangers show up, and they call Trip, and they say that they can't make it through, or they can't make it into the building yet. And then, let's see. Oh yeah, the Cyclobots that are inside the building, they take a bunch of people hostage. They're just going to leave them in there and let the monster blow up the building. I'm not sure how this accomplishes the goal Rancic had of finding Frax, but whatever. I guess the monster just felt like causing some havoc on the site or something. Let's see. Oh yeah. Trip gets to a computer room. He puts Circuit down. He's trying to figure out the computer code, and Circuit's lost his confidence completely and doesn't want to help because he's afraid that if he tries to help, he might glitch up again. He's starting to believe that something really might be wrong with him. So then Eric and the Silver Guardians arrive, and, oh yeah, there's a funny, weird bit where the mutant is, he's like sitting around waiting for the bomb timer to get lower. Then he leans really awkwardly on the keyboard, which speeds up the countdown for the bomb. Or self-destruct. Which is a thing I'll talk about later. So anyway, he speeds up that, and then he's like, oh, well, I better get going. So then he tries to leave, and, let's see. Eric fights with the mutant, And while they're fighting and the Rangers get in, they're fighting the Cyclopods, trying to get their way to save the people inside. The timer actually runs out, but the bomb or self-destruct doesn't go off because this computer voice comes on and tells Trip that all the emergency exits have to be closed. The Rangers hear it, and so they're keeping one of the emergency exits opened, but it's, forcing itself down really quick. So then, let's see, oh yeah, Katie's holding it up, and her super strength is starting to give out. Meanwhile, Trip's trying to figure out the code to turn the self-destruct off, and Circuit's there, and he's trying to convince Circuit, come on, Circuit, I know you can do this, and Circuit's like, no, what if I mess up again? And then Circuit gets a message from the future from Alex, and Alex tells him that he's the one who erased his memory earlier, and that's what caused him to glitch up and not tell the Rangers the thing from the future or whatever it was they were asking about. So now Circuit realizes, okay, so it wasn't any mistake I made or a problem with me, it was Alex who was doing something. He doesn't tell the Rangers this. Whatever. So then Circuit gets his confidence back, he goes to Trip, okay, Trip, I can help, and so then he figures out the thing, he turns the self-destruct off, and then... Okay, Eric defeats the mutant. Oh, and the mutant's name is Serpicon. It took a long time before they say its name, I think. So then, let's see, it grows, and then Eric calls the Q-Rex. The Q-Rex is fighting with Serpicon. The Rangers go out, and instead of immediately calling for the Zords, they pull out, like, their blaster things, and they start shooting at the monster from the ground. Okay. Then the monster aims his gun at them and tries to fire at them. Then Circuit flies out and tries to distract the monster's fire, and he gets shot. Circuit gets shot by the monster. Like, that's always something that was, like, crazy shocking when Circuit would get, like, shot or wounded or something. Like, the Rangers, yeah, that happens all the time, but Circuit to get hit was really shocking to me as a kid. It was kind of like, back in Mighty Morphin, there was an episode where, was it? I think it was The Wedding. Yeah, it was The Wedding, I think, where, let's see, oh yeah, Zed was going to go into hibernation or something, so Zordon's like, there won't be any threats to Earth, so we can relax for a while, and then Alpha goes out to pick flowers, and then Finster comes down and attacks Alpha by putting, like, this, virus disc thing into his back. And, let's see, I'm trying to think, are there any other times where Alpha actually gets attacked by something? Oh, there is the singing squash thing in Power Ranger Punks where he's going and he gets attacked by putties, like the putties all gang up on him, then he, like, shoots this electricity out of his head or something. Anyway, Circuit getting shot is kind of like that. Imagine if Alpha were to actually get shot by a monster. That's what it's like when Circuit gets hit by a monster. It's very bizarre because it doesn't happen much. So anyway, let's see. Oh yeah, the Rangers get the time jet because they can't call the Zords with Circuit wounded, and with Eric's help they defeat Serpicon, and then... Oh yeah, then we see... Oh yeah, the Rangers go back to Circuit, and Circuit shuts down, and they don't know if he's going to be okay. And then we see, meanwhile, Frax and some Cyclobots are finishing up this new robot of Frax's, this big golden thing. And then they begin to invade the city before the episode ends. So actually, this episode actually does tie in to the upcoming episode, so this is also kind of part of the finale. The Rangers don't notice this yet. They're back at the clock tower, where Circuit wakes up, and he's all fully repaired, he's totally fine, and the Rangers are happy that he's okay. My notes have a mistake in them somehow, I just noticed. Okay, that's fixed. And then Trip asks him about the future again. What were you going to tell us about the future earlier? And then Circuit remembers what Alex told him about the thing. Alex had told him that he couldn't allow him to tell the Rangers about the future because it might alter their future. So Circuit just tells Trip, "Oh, nothing. Just, let's see, just the usual, you know, the sun'll come up and we will catch the evil guy." And I always liked that line. It was such a cute, happy line from Circuit. I love Circuit. He's adorable. And then we see Alex watching from the future, and we see on the screens in 2001 there's these giant portals forming in the sky, just as Frax's invasion of Cyclobots is starting. Really cool episode. Really love this one. I was going to talk about the stupid building self-destruct thing. Now, when I first watched this, and in the past when I've thought about this episode, I always thought that the monster set a bomb through the computer somehow. Like, somehow he hacked into the building's computer system and somehow rigged a bomb through it. But now, watching the episode, it sounds like the building itself had a pre-programmed self-destruct. Why? Why would any building have a pre-programmed self-destruct? That's just asking for trouble. Like, I could see it happening. People are very stupid. I could definitely see that kind of thing happening, but it's very weird because this is also in a civilian area. This isn't like way out in the middle of the desert. This isn't like a government research building or anything. Or maybe it is. I don't know what kind of building it is. But it's right in the middle of the city with a bunch of civilians inside and around it. So, yeah, a self-destruct system just seems like a really, really bad idea. So, yeah. Anyway, cool episode. I like that Circuit got his own focus. That's really cool. It's not often that side characters get a whole focus episode for themselves. Like, I'm trying to think of any other time where a side character gets a focus episode, and it is not often. Like, in nearly 30 years of Power Rangers, we've gotten a side character focus episode, like, maybe less than 10 times. I mean, it is cool when they do it. Especially when the side character is likable like Circuit is. So, let's see. Oh, the other thing, this episode is really notable for having the dedication to Thuy Trang at the end. That's a really nice thing. A lot of fans appreciate when the actors or crew members, people who've passed away and that are associated with the show, get a dedication or some kind of tribute in the show. It's a really nice thing to do. One of the things that would have been nice, aside from like just, the black screen that says in memory of Thuy Trang, it would have been nice to have like a picture of her, or was there? I don't think there was a picture of her even. I think it's just her name dedicated to her, or whatever. It would have been nice if there was like a little montage at the end of some scenes with her, kind of like how in Zeo when Billy left the show, they had a little montage of Billy's character in the show. I think that would be a really nice thing to do, like whenever whenever like a person associated with the show dies, a cast or crew member or whatever. Like the cast members, they have like scenes from the show they can pick out to play as a montage for crew members. There's probably behind the scenes pictures or at least, photos or something they could have in a montage. It's just something that they don't really do often, and for a last couple of seasons, there have been actors and crew members who've passed away, and they don't get any kind of dedication in the end credits or anything. It's really disappointing that we don't get stuff like that. Let's see, I'm trying to remember. Let's see, a few years ago, Pua Magazawa, Shane, and Ninja Storm passed away, and I don't think there was any kind of dedication for him. Grant McFarland, who played Sensei Watanabe in Lothor, he also passed away, and a lot of fans didn't even know because like they didn't really make it. Let's see, his family didn't make it public or something. I don't remember what exactly the reason was. Oh, and Grant McFarland was just in Samurai, or I say just in, it was like 10 years ago, but he was in Samurai, which is a far more recent season, so you'd think that they'd be more aware of what was going on with him, and they'd remember that, or whatever. Anyway, it's not the focus of the episode, it's just this little thing at the end. It's a nice thing, and I remember years ago, there was a controversy, there was a bit of a stir when the dedication to Thuy Trang part of this episode was cut off in a rerun. Fans got really ticked off about that. Understandably, that's a really disrespectful thing to do. Don't take off a dedication to someone. So anyway, it appears to have remained since then. I don't think it's ever happened again. Maybe in international airings somewhere, they might have like cut it out just because of how the episodes are edited in other countries. So anyway, good episode. I'm glad that they chose the last of like the standard episodes of the season before the finale to be a more serious toned episode rather than a goofy one. I remember, let's see, it was Lightspeed, wasn't it? In the Limelight. Was that the very last before the finale, or was it? I don't remember. But it was one of the last before the finale, and it just felt very weird having that. Oh, actually, I have my, I have my episode guide here. I can check. Let's see. Yeah, the last episode of Lightspeed Rescue before the finale was in the limelight. That's an awful episode to be the last. Okay. What was, oh, I don't have Lost Galaxy in here. Yeah, that one's still up there. I'm not gonna get it. So anyway, that's it for this one. Hope you enjoyed this. See ya.